Hey everyone, welcome back to the garage. I was on social media and encountered a post from a gentleman who had suddenly lost his dad very unexpectedly. And while I cannot speak to that directly from experience, because I'm fortunate in that both my parents are still alive, from the people that I have talked to that have lost both a parent and a child, they say by far losing a child is worse. And I'm inclined to agree with them. It's sort of the natural expectation of the thought process that you will at some point lose your parents. It is not the natural expectation that you will lose a child. Typically, you believe them to outlive you. So that being said, having lived through the loss of a child, I can speak to grief and heavy grief. And as men, we're supposed to be the rock. And I think that's been twisted to mean that we're supposed to be emotionless and be solid and strong and there for everybody else in our lives that is grieving. This gentleman spoke about trying to console his mother and be there for her and take care of her, while at the same time just feeling the immense grief within himself, just yearning for an outlet. And he was asking basically about outlets and what, looking for advice basically from people that have been through it. And as men, we're problem solvers. That's what that's our immediate course of action whenever something happens. We try to solve the problem. When we lose someone in our life, we can't fix that. That's not something that we can solve. And that can create a big problem for us as men, as the fixers, when we have something that cannot be fixed. It cannot be returned to how it was. That is a challenge to the very essence of our being. Now, to answer this gentleman's question directly, how do you handle the grief? And there is no specific answer. It's different for everyone. You need to make sure, though, that you handle it, that you're not running from it, that you're not trying to hide from it, because that only creates problems. I know I tried to run from it, I tried to hide from it, and it didn't help anything or anyone. The longer you run from your grief, the longer and harder it's going to chase you. And it will catch you. You can't run and hide from it forever. You need to make time to process. And we're pretty quick at mentally understanding what's happened, but there is a shock to our bodily system. The energetic, the spiritual system that we operate in. Mentally we're in disbelief that someone could be there and then suddenly gone from our lives, never to be seen again. And that really hurts. And you need to make sure that you're taking the adequate time to sit with the emotion of that. As men, we're not good with emotions. We're taught not to be good with emotions. We're taught to basically avoid our emotions by burying them away, not expressing them, thereby not feeling them. We're taught to man up, to grow a pair, to fucking get busy and get back to work and move on, all the while being completely torn up inside, whether we acknowledge it or not. So, as men, in the moment, the thing that we can fix is trying to do the things, go through the motions, take care of those around us, and make sure they're okay. But at the same time, part of the fixing, if you will, the fixing, needs to focus on us. And I think pretty much every one of us is completely apt to negate that need and avoid it altogether, consciously. Subconsciously, you're going to see drugs, you're going to see alcohol, you're going to see all nature of other addictions in ways of trying to avoid the pain and trying to avoid the emotions that you've suppressed. So in the moment, yes, absolutely be there for everybody that needs it. But at the same time, you need to make time for yourself. You need to open up to those around you and let them know that you hurt too. And you need an outlet for this as well. And if you don't have people around you where that's safe to do, find someone, find a community where it is safe to do so. Because the suppression of the emotions is what's tearing the fabric of our society apart. The avoidance tactics, the not feeling the pain that exists. Because at the end of the day, the pain is there to teach you something, to help you change, to make you shift. And when it comes to the loss of somebody you love, the pain is a reminder of how much you loved, how much you're capable of love. And yes, it's also a reminder that they're gone. But I will also challenge every one of you, regardless of your beliefs, to be on the lookout for the subtleties, the little things in your life, the seemingly insignificant things that were connected to those that you lost. Something that person loved or held dear. Just weird, strange coincidences that happen in the time immediately post-loss. Pay attention to those. There's a lot of meaning in that, should you choose to do so. Chances are you won't believe it right away. I know I didn't believe it right away. But just acknowledge them. Acknowledge your pain, acknowledge your feelings, and make time, make space to grieve in whatever way that is to you. If that's going off into nature somewhere and bawling your eyes out, there's not a fucking problem with that. Go for it. If it involves punching the ever-loving shit out of a punching bag or pillows or, a hole in the wall that you'll eventually have to fix. But if that's what it takes to get it out and do it. Don't suppress that stuff, because if you suppress it, it will just pop out in other ways at other times when you're not ready for it, not expecting it. So make sure you sit with it and acknowledge it and feel it. Because at the end of the day, it's a sign that you loved. And you loved with all of your heart and every bit of your being. So with that, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.